Welcome back, everybody, to my annual October ranking series. This year I'm counting down my 31 favorite horror movies from the 2010s. We're in the top 3, people. This was one of those situations where I had a hard time picking between number 3 and number 2. These two movies go back and forth, but the number 1, definitely my number 1. And I was actually, surprised when number 1 became my number 1. But when I was honest with myself, it was definitely number 1. But focusing on number 3 for now. At number 3, I'm going to apologize because I've already talked about this movie a bunch on my channel recently. But I did not want to lie and just not include it on this list because it is definitely number 3. At number 3, we have Father's Day by the guys at Astron 6.
Happy Father's Day.
Yes, in August I did a tribute to Troma films. Leading up to the release of the new Toxic Avenger, because I love Troma movies. You have the movies that were made in-house by Troma, and then you had the movies that were made out-house that Troma distributed, and Father's Day is without question my favorite movie that was distributed by Troma. Not necessarily made by Troma, but definitely distributed by Troma. And I talked about Father's Day quite a bit that month, so I'm going to apologize if I repeat myself here, but I was not going to lie. Being completely honest, yes, Father's Day is number 3 on my list of favorite horror movies from the 2010s. I love Troma movies, I love micro-budget movies, and this is one of my favorite micro-budget movies. And for me, this is the most impressive, innovative micro-budget movie. Of course, there is also El Mariachi by Robert Rodriguez, which was only made for $7,000. That's a great movie, too. Definitely check that out. It's a fantastic micro-budget movie. But I do put Father's Day above that one, not, for any other reasons other than I like it more. So Father's Day is a throwback and a tribute and spoof to old grindhouse movies from the 70s and 80s. It's a spoof. It deals with some disturbing material, but it's one of those movies that mixes disturbing with humor very well. When you're taking disturbing subject matter and mixing humor into that, it's a very hard line to walk. But here, that line is walked perfectly, I think. Yes, this is bad taste humor. This is definitely a movie that's not for everybody, so I cannot recommend it to everybody. But if you're okay with bad taste humor, if you love Troma movies, and you're okay with some rough subject matter, I think you will like Father's Day.
Kiss me, and I'll tell you what happened to her.
No, gross. Why?
You fucking hurt me.
We're following this group of ragtag misfits hunting down this serial killer who goes around raping and murdering fathers. So you have some moments that are absolutely disturbing, and you have some movies that are really funny, and like I said, it's a hard thing to mix together, but this movie succeeds in mixing it together. It has the perfect mix of an exploitation movie, and yes, it's a tribute and spoof to exploitation movies. You can tell they're making fun of exploitation movies and celebrating them at the same time, which is great. The humor is not for everybody, but I found it funny at certain moments. Definitely. There were definitely moments that made me laugh. But what the most impressive thing about this movie is that it had a budget of only $10,000. $10,000, and this movie looks really good. I wouldn't say it looks like a big budget movie you would see in theaters, but you watch this movie and you would not think it was made for only $10,000. But they do so much with $10,000, and I know I've said this many times when I've talked about this movie before, but I love innovation when it comes to micro-budget movies, and this is one of the most innovative micro-budget horror movies I've ever seen, and micro-budget movies I've ever seen. The gore effects are really impressive. There are some interesting action sequences. There's a scene towards the end when the characters go to hell, and they created their own version of hell in a $10,000 movie. That is something I have said numerous times on this channel, but I will continue to praise that. Creating your own version of hell with little to no money is incredibly impressive.
Jesus Christ.
It takes a weird turn in the third act, but this movie is trying to be humorous in many ways, so you're okay with that. This is probably going to be on the shorter side because I have talked about this movie so much, and I'm just basically repeating myself here. But yeah, Father's Day, I love this movie, and as someone who loves to support independent movies and micro-budget movies, this is one of the best. Even though it's hard to watch, I do think it's one that people who want to make their own movies with no money should check out, because it shows you what you can do even if you have no money to make your movie. But it's not for everybody. It's not really a movie I can recommend to everyone to watch around Halloween. You have to be the right kind of person in the right frame of mind, and you have to have a twisted nature in your mind, I guess. So it's not for everybody. It's definitely one of those movies where I would do research before checking it out if you want to check it out. But for me, Father's Day, number 3 in my top 31 favorite horror movies from the 2010s. I love this movie. I've praised it so much, and I have no doubt I will praise it again in the future.
Let's tear this place apart!